Okay, I had to move outside. But listen, we can do a Q&A. I'm so sorry I couldn't see your comments before. And listen, if I don't see your comments right now, then I'm gonna, sorry, there's ants right there. I want to sit on it. Stop it, go away. Okay. I don't want ants in my pants. Literally. Okay, so people comment and tell me if you're here. Are you here? Are you here? Anybody here? Can you hear me? Hello? Maybe people don't have questions. There were some really good questions though I saw in the comments, and I was answering what I could, but I thought, okay, well, I'll pop in here and see if there's anything I can clear up. If anyone wants to come in. Hello? No? Are we good? Are you fine? Feeling good? Feeling all right? Of course, this is all on a case-by-case basis. But what I would ask of you is that with each case, there's Sarah, hello. I was just saying, oh, there's Leanne. Okay, well, I'll wait just a second. People are popping on. This is just for you guys had some really good questions and some good points and stuff, and I wish I could have seen, it, the comments. So start comment. Oh, Sarah, I see a comment. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus. Oh, we're back. Okay, so you can ask me questions in here. But what I was saying is that, of course, it's always on a case-by-case basis, okay? But what I would ask is that with each case, really check in with yourself and figure out, is the reason that I don't want to remove these people from my team page because I'm scared? If it's, you never make a decision based on fear, ever. It's always the wrong decision. It's always the wrong decision if it's based on fear. So, you know, and I know you cannot base it on, do they always hit their status? You can't base it on that, because there's a lot of reasons why people don't maintain their status. And if they're actively involved in their business, even if it's not to the same level that you are, but if they're involved, you need to give them the opportunity to step it up, because I've seen a lot of times where people didn't step up until they were pushed out of the nest. And that's what's supposed to happen. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. This really shows you that this is like a widespread issue, because everybody's acting like, oh, it's this new thing. It's not a new thing. This is how it's always supposed to be. When they hit green and they're no longer in your circle, they're no longer in your circle. You know? And it was pointed out to me today, it's a very good point. If you're an orange status presenter, you really don't need a circle page, because your team page is your circle page, because your elite has her own page and everyone who's left is in your circle, right? You don't need two groups. You don't need a team page and then a circle page. Did you get it? Did you get it, man? Okay. They don't respond to your posts, so I feel like they're not interested in what I share. Okay, now, here's the thing. As you have probably seen in our building block groups, right? The Get to Green, Get to Yellow, all of those groups, right? What was so interesting to me is when we started those groups and you guys were all becoming admins in there, I was surprised at how effective, because I was thinking about it helping the yellows, the pinks, the blues, the green, the ones getting to green. But then I realized it was really helpful for you guys as leaders, because it really helped for a lot of you boost your self-esteem in your own leadership skills. And I'm moving because there's all these little tiny little bugs. I'm just gonna move over here. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh wow, that's a twofer. Like, I'd like to say to you that, oh yeah, well, I knew that was gonna happen. You know, I didn't know. But I thought that was a really great side benefit. And but if you notice, part of what everybody liked about those groups was that there was interaction, and everybody loved actually having people in there comment and respond to their posts. So it shows you that what you have to say is of value. The problem is you don't have enough runners. The problem is you don't have enough runners. we should all be sponsoring 3 to 5 people a month. Do more if you can. I find 3 to 5 is a good number for me because that is the number that I feel I'm capable of training effectively. Any more than that, and I feel like people are falling through the cracks. So 3 to 5. You should be planting seeds every single day so that those 3 to 5, like if you haven't been sponsoring recently, it's so important to be planting those seeds as often as possible, every day in some way, and even through social media. And I don't mean planting a seed like oh, hey, join my team. That's not a seed. That's like a brick, right? It's getting to know people and it's developing relationships. The question is, how do I develop relationships with people? Because eventually, then they become customers or presenters or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that what you have is not of value. It's that you haven't found your runners yet. And we have to watch how we use our language. No more saying, oh, I'm not good at parties, or these are just stuff I hear a lot. I'm not good at parties, or I'm not good at sponsoring. No, I'm getting better at sponsoring every day. I'm getting better at sponsoring every day. Sponsoring is my focus. Sponsoring is my life, right? Okay, let me see if I have any more questions. Okay, what helped you do more lives? Suzanne, what helped you? And what's been amazing? Sarah, why am my nose itchy? Sarah, what has been amazing? What did I say? What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Okay. She should stay in my circle because she hasn't hit green. Well, here's the thing. You have to figure out how invested these people are. If somebody is green status, they need to have their own page. They need to have their own team page. She can stay just to observe what you do, but she needs to be out. Here's what bothers me about that statement. Oh, Sarah, being an admin. Oh, thank you, honey. Here's what bothers me about that statement, Leanne. I'm making money on her team. That statement makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I just want to punch somebody in the throat. That tells me she has got a bad attitude. She needs an attitude adjustment. And if she's in this elite page, honey, I'm talking to you. Bad attitude. That is not the way to think, and it is for damn sure not something you should ever say out loud. If that thought occurs to you, you tell it to go sit in the corner where it belongs, because that does not belong in any place. And it makes no sense, and it tells me that she doesn't understand the comp plan. Because we make money on our circle, we make money on our first gen. You're making money on her no matter where she goes, but that's not the point. That's not the point. It's not about making money and where she goes. It's about she hit green, she's a leader, she should have her own page. Now, if she only hit once and she's not actively involved in her team page, that's a different story. That's a different story. If she's checked out, that's a different story. Okay. Oh, yeah, Carrie Borgman. I know. You know what? I'm not as sweet as people think I am. Let's see. Angela Callisto. I know she loves that side of me. I get a little feisty. Nikki has a couple blues who are really wanting to start their own pages for communication and incentives for the personally sponsors. Okay. So now here's the thing. Okay. I have a hard time with this question because sometimes... See, a blue is going to be a green. I would say if they really want to start their own group at blue, they're inspired and excited, I would say go ahead. I say it tentatively, but I say go ahead and let you monitor, not really monitor, but be in there to help coach. Because the problem is, and I have a video on YouTube called Are You Putting Your Cart Before Your Horse? The danger of blue status starting their own group is that too many of them like the leadership role and then decide they're not going to be the worker bee. You know, they want to be the chief. They don't want to be the Indian. They have to be able to work simultaneously. But it might be good practice for them. And if it makes them feel like a leader, you know, leadership is the next step. And then what you do is then they already have their group, and then you just move them out of your team page. So maybe, again, this is a very fluid process and we learn as we go. Maybe it's that we encourage people who are active in their business at Blue Status to start their own team page. I remember needing a way to communicate with my team and to do incentives. You know, I'm a big believer in small incentive, very, very duplicatable, doable things, right? Let's see, do we need to remove our downline from our upline groups? I mean, if they really like the group, won't it just piss them off? Or do we just assure them that they'll be in good hands with me? It is a tough call, Teresa. It is a tough call. But here's the thing. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. You don't have... Okay. I think it would be best, and this is based on also that feedback that I got at that elite retreat. Okay, there were 10 rockin' leaders, and out of 10, 7 of them, because the other 3 were under me and I haven't gone anywhere, 7 of them were roll-ups to me because their leader left. And they all, in some way or another, said the same thing, that they didn't step up to the plate. And they didn't even realize that they weren't working at their full potential as a leader until their leader left. And then they realized it's all on me. So this is kind of what we need. We need, you know how they say diamonds aren't formed without a lot of pressure. So we need for each leader to feel the responsibility that is placed on them, because it is a responsibility. But also reassure them that you are going to be in that leader's group, right? And maybe that leader's going to be in your group. But you're just following the protocols, okay? And so the same information is going to be shared. They're not going to lose anything. They're not going to lose anything. And you know, guys, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's not an exact science. So I just know from what I've seen at the retreat, what I've seen talking with people, and I would love to do coaching calls with every single one of you. I'm not able to. So for right now, I have to just keep it to my first generation elites. So because I have 27 who hit elite every month, but I have over 50 who don't, and like I said, whether they hit or not, like, it's my responsibility because I'm all they've got. So I have to focus my attention there for right now. But like you see, whatever I learn from those coaching calls, I share in here. But I would say for now, because, and I know who your upline is, and I love your upline, and she does a great job. So, but I think if you guys team up together, and you know, you're capable, you're more than capable of flying this ship. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's see. And then here's the thing too. Okay, let me bring this up. Just made me think of this, Leanne, when you said she's a rock star. Here's the deal. I want to make sure that nobody feels, I know a lot of you do, you feel like you're, I don't know, not worthy as a leader, or not a good leader if people aren't responding, or if your leg, your strongest leg, is doing better than your team is, then, you know, like if you were to remove them, you don't have much of a team. I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. And I'm not saying that you are feeling this way, Leanne. I'm just saying that this is a common kind of theme, that people start to feel bad about themselves as leaders because they have a strong leg. Hi, Watch what you wish for. Isn't that what we all want? We all want lots of strong legs. So if you feel bad that you have one strong leg, are you going to feel bad that you have two strong legs? Are you going to feel even worse when you have 3 strong legs, 4 strong legs, 5 strong legs? Hi, we want strong legs. We want as many strong legs as we possibly can, okay? The fact that you have one is fantastic, and now we just got to find another. And then we're going to find another. But my point is, if you're spending your time working on your strong leg, you're not working on the part of your business where you need to be working. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. They're fine. They don't need you. They don't need you. Okay? Okay? It's like you've got kids. And you've got 3 kids. And one is in college and is soaring. And the other 2 are in high school and they're struggling. And they're not interested, and half the time they don't even go to school. Are you going to sit with the college student every single day and watch them do their amazing presentations and watch them do their homework and help them with their homework? That makes no sense. They're thriving. They're thriving. They don't need you. The other ones need you. And you know what? Sometimes it's not the most rewarding work. It's a lot of getting down, getting muddy, getting dirty, down in the trenches, right? Because we got to figure out what makes them tick and all that stuff. But in the end, it is very rewarding. It is very, very rewarding. This kind of brings up another thing too, is and I'm not thinking of anybody in particular. I'm just thinking like overall. Sometimes I see where presenters, they like to do Facebook Lives, they like to do videos, they like to make amazing videos, you know, fancy music, whatever, right? They love all that. It lights them up. They love to share that stuff because they get a lot of response. What they don't like to do is they don't like to do the one-on-one work. They don't like to do the phone coaching. They don't like to do the troubleshooting. That's what I see. It's a puzzle. That's what my job is, I feel like, you know, is helping figure out and helping other people figure out what makes them tick. I don't have all the answers, but you just need somebody to talk to, right? You just need somebody to bounce it back and forth and figure out what lets them tick. And the thing is if you're a good coach, you have to be honest. You have to be honest. You have to figure out a way to say what you mean without being mean. But just say, okay, I'm seeing a pattern, and I want to help, So I'm just going to mirror this back to you. If you've ever played sports, think about those coaches. They push you. They push you. But just make sure you don't that we don't get caught up in the stuff that pets our ego, as far as Facebook Lives and all of that, without doing the stuff that really matters behind the scenes. Because I promise you, nothing is going to make you feel better than when you help somebody unlock what's holding them back in their business. Okay. Oh, see, Teresa, you started your group at Blue. Yeah, you know what? Well, I started my group, I think, at Pink, but only because there were no, we didn't have groups. Oh, okay. See, now Ann is saying the Blues who've done their own pages aren't doing well. See? It's a tough call. It's a tough call because, like I said, sometimes Blues, they're so ready to be a leader, but it's because they like to be, you know, they want to wear the crown. It's not so much, and it's because they are like, well, if I'm the leader, then I don't have to do the work. I don't have to sponsor. My team can do the work for me. I don't have to do the sponsoring, and I don't have to do the selling. So, yeah, so maybe that's something. But it also, too, and in defense of this, too, see, the other side of it is I have a feeling that these Blues with negative vibes would have negative vibes at green status. It's just who they is, right? Possibly. Yes, it's a bird leaving the nest. The way I look at it is when you're green status, you graduate high school. When you're black status, you're off married with children and they don't want grandma around. Oh, in my group. Oh, Leanne, you're asking about my group. They should be in their green group, their elite group, and their black status. So they would be in mine, and then they would be in yours or in your elites. But if she's pitching a fit, I don't know. if she's pitching a fit and wanting to stay in your group, like she could stay in your group and share your posts, but she needs to work with her own team. And the thing is, you need to, if she's already hit green status even once, she's got some rock stars. You don't want her team, they need to have their own incentives, and your team have your own incentives. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, I'm coaching right now. Look at that. This is a group call. It's a group coaching session. Okay. Oh, Lisa just started doing phone coaching. Good for you. I know it's scary, but honestly, don't put yourself as the expert. You're just like, hey, we're just going to sit here and we're going to bounce ideas back and forth and help each other. And maybe something I'll say will give you ideas, and then you'll say something and it'll give me an idea, and we just brainstorm. That's all it is. Yes, keep it fresh. Okay, I'm reading what Valentina says. I totally see this as a way to keep it fresh and focus on the little fish in my circle. I know for a fact that my green runners take every incentive I've done. It's time for new blood. Yes, to feel the accomplishment, that's it. Let the dog in. That's it. You want everybody to have a chance to feel successful, okay? You want them to have a chance to feel successful and to win stuff. They need to win stuff, okay? So let me just go over again just really quick. So we're at the middle of the month, and it's a weird month because new products are going to be able to be purchased on Wednesday. So I was telling someone this morning, like, if I were you, because I see a lot of people that aren't qualified yet, if I were you, I would start today and I'd say, hey, guess what? You got 24 hours to sell a mascara. Post a screenshot of the order below. Or you could start it with, sometime today before midnight tonight, you got to post a selfie of your lashes and say, something about, I don't know, loving my lashes, or it's cold outside, but my lashes don't care, or long lashes don't care, messy hair don't care. I don't know. Be creative. Don't sell it. Just share what you love about your lashes, right? Tell them to post a screenshot of that, and then tell them that they have until midnight tomorrow to sell a set of mascara. And if they buy it themselves, they buy it themselves. Hopefully they'll sell it, okay? So you do that, and then you have a drawing. Whoever posts in the comments below that they've sold, show me a screenshot. I got to see it. Got to prove it. Then they get their choice of, look at what you have in your drawer, right? Do you have some pencils? Some eye and lip pencils? Lay out the pencils that you have and tell them you get to pick. These are the colors. Pick your choice of colors. Pick one, okay? What does that cost you? It costs you like less than $10 by the time it's all said and done if you run it through a party and whatever, right? So do that. And then, so normally though, what I do is, like, in my circle group, I try to get as many people qualified in the first week of the month as you can. 5 mascaras. We should all have 5 on hand at all times anyway. And the reason we say 5 is because it's qualified purchase, and also it's free shipping, and also, why? Just because we need 5 on hand at all times. And when I get down to 2, then I order 5 more. I always keep it rolling, right? Okay. Oh, you had your group. Bethany had her group after her first presenter signed up. Those blues wanting their own group, I try to have them do more in my circle. Yes. Thank you, Tess, for being the voice of reason. Hi, Rihanna. Oh, Mary Mooney. Okay, honey. My messages are a hot mess, and I worked some on Saturday, but I took Saturday afternoon and Sunday off, which I usually do. I will tell you that right now, girls. You got to have a day to, like, regroup. Let me see. Well, see, Leanne, that's a problem if you don't post in your circle. But you see what I'm saying? You don't even need a circle. That needs to be your team page. That needs to be your team page. And here's the deal. You need to decide as a leader how you are going to run your team. Your elites do not have to agree with you. Stand your ground and say, no, this is what I need to do. Don't let the tail wag the dog, okay? I was thinking of using my business page for trainings for all. Then they can still get my training and feel connected to their upline. You could. The only thing I'm thinking about that is poachers. And again, I don't run my business based on fear, but I just know that then the world has access to that. Do you know what I'm saying? But if your leaders are just the leader is in your team page, they can share your stuff. Okay? Let's see. Oh, Tina, this isn't mean. No, you're not. Okay, you're not cutting off connections with them. You're empowering. We have to make sure that we are empowering our leaders to be leaders, okay? This would be the equivalent of mama moving into the dorm when your kid goes off to college, okay? Yes, we want to, but we cannot. You need to, this is the empowered, uplift, validate. This is the empowered portion of the program, okay? Yes, Heather, underground support. I love that. But you're not mean by doing this at all. You can still be in that leader's page. You can still comment. I wouldn't post because don't overstep on toes. Let her be the leader. But if you don't let her be the leader, because here's what's happening. I would guess, I don't know this for a fact, but I would guess that most of your downline views you as the big leader. And that feels good. It does feel good. Let's be honest, right? They view you as the big leader. But whether you mean to or not, and I know you don't mean to do this, it's undermining the authority of your leader. Let her be the leader. What's the difference in her sharing your posts? They're still going to feel connected to you. They still will. Do a Facebook Live and let her share it. They'll still feel connected to you. It doesn't mean you can't reach out to them and say, oh my gosh, you're having an amazing month, great job. Or when your leader posts in her page and says, here's the rock stars, here's the top 10, here's the da-da-da-da-da, that you don't get in there and congratulate each and every one of them. But let her be the star of her show, okay? Let her be the star. And really dig deep and think and make sure, and I have to do this a lot for myself, do a gut check and make sure that it's not fear-based, that you're afraid of losing control. So sometimes I have control issues. And make sure it's not an ego thing. And I don't mean ego thing like as a bad thing. We've all got that, right? Where you're just like, oh gosh, I'm not going to have as many people commenting. See, is there an underlying thing of fear? Like, what am I going to do when they're gone? But honestly, to have 10 rock star leaders who earned my first Gen Elite trip, 7 are roll-ups, and each of them in some way say that they became a much stronger leader when their leader left. What does that tell you? That's not a coincidence. That's the universe trying to tell me something. It's saying, let go. Let Jesus take the wheel. Right? Let go and let them lead. Yes, Mary, you cannot be the only star of your show. You can't. And guess what? As they grow and become stronger, that's the closer you're getting to black status. And they'll all come back in your page. So leaders can share from my team page, and even though it's a closed group, their page can, okay. So Mary, what you would need to do is they don't share it, they copy and paste it. That's what they would have to do because it's a closed group. Nobody would see it. But they would copy and paste it. Just how do you think I get all the stuff that I get, right? If you did a Facebook Live in your team page, then you would just upload it to YouTube and post the link so everybody can share the link. So let me see. Do you recommend making a post saying they need to leave the other groups in a nice way, or a post saying, hi, dear people, I am now kicking you out of this group? Don't feel like a nerd. Okay, but she says, but I don't want to anger the girls since they made it pretty clear before that they didn't want to leave the other groups. I'm asking all this because I'm kicking myself in the butt and getting myself back into gear, so I want to be sure. Okay, so here's what I would do. I would say, I would remind them of the unique guidelines. Green status upline. They need to be in their elite, which is green orange upline, or purple if you're purple, and then their black status upline. 2 groups, okay? And here's the deal: you don't ask them to remove themselves. You explain how these groups are structured and the reason for it. And once somebody hits leadership status, they're on their own. You break away from a circle for a reason. And maybe you do a Facebook Live and you explain it too. But then you explain that you'll still be, you can still share posts. You'll still be in your uplines group. I'm still going to be sharing posts from her. She's going to be in this group commenting as well. But this is how the business needs to be structured. We don't need girls in 4 or 5 groups. Because if they're looking at everybody's posts every day, if we're all posting 2 to 3 times a day and they're in 4 groups, they're not working their business. They feel like they're working. They're not working their business. They need to tune in. They need to be looking at their corporate news every day, and they need to be tuning into their elite and then maybe their black status uplines group, just for ideas. And that's it. That's it. Because here's the thing too, they have a sponsor that if they have deep questions, they should be contacting their sponsor for one-on-one stuff, you know? I hope that clears that up. Yes, Tess. See, Tess says I heard it a lot when my purple left. Okay. Lisa Morris, my leader left. I became a much better leader because my new leader has really worked with me. See, you have your second win back. That's the thing. If you're worried about your leaders being able to take control of it, let them know that you have faith in them. A lot of times that's all it takes is for them to know that you believe in them and that you're there for them. So maybe you're doing a lot more on the phone with them and they're like, okay, now I'm going to go post. Okay, and I'll watch, right? Like you just like step back and let them have it. Okay. Are we doing good? They should hit a couple times before doing a new group. Oh, so Sean, you mean like, well, here's the thing. I have a lot of leaders that are awesome leaders that don't always maintain for one reason or another. I mean, if they're a new green team, all right, here's the deal. You got to get real about this and honest about this. If it's a team that hit green status, but like 2 hours before the end of the month, they still had $3,000 to go. And in 2 hours, they pulled out $3,000 in sales, like at midnight Pacific time, like 3 a.m. on the East Coast. That's not real. Let's be honest. That's not customers buying. And they could say, oh, I was placing orders. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't believe it. If you can't hit your promotion by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then I question if it's real. I question if it's not a bunch of girls getting together and buying their stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that as a judgment, even though that really sounded judgy. I'm not saying it as a judgment. I'm saying that is not necessarily a green team that's ready to be on their own. See how they do the next couple of months. If it's a green team that hits in the biggest month of the year, November or last year was February, is it, do you know, like you need to really use your, leader glasses to look and see, is this legit? Like, is this legit? And maybe they did pull a rabbit out of a hat. But is that leader, it's really on a case-by-case basis, and I want you guys to learn to trust your gut and trust your intuition on it, whether or not it's real. Because I have also seen teams that, hit green status, and then the next month, they're barely maintaining pink. Okay, I would not move them out of my team page, right? Let's be honest. We're not going to do that. Okay, I have one elite that hasn't hit since last May. She hasn't hit since, but she removed her team, but has since put them back in my group because she hasn't been able to work her business. Okay, perfect. That's fine, Lisa. That's fine. If she's not working her business like she wants to, that's fine, because technically they're still in your circle. Okay? My green status has her own team page and you have yours. Let's see. However, we teamed up to create a special group last month to do mentoring and detailed training with several girls in each of our groups that were motivated. It went amazing and the feedback was awesome. It was a one-time thing, but I think we may do it. See, that sounds fantastic. That's not, and if it works, you do it again. And if it doesn't, then you just stopped. Okay? Oh, good, Brenda, I'm glad I just answered your question. Yeah, if it works, you do it. And if you don't, it stops. And so that's why I feel like everything has been going the same way now for all this, 3+ years. And it's time to shake it up a bit. And it's because I'm seeing such a trend. And here's the other trend that I will tell you about, and I'll leave you guys with this, unless you have more questions. But I think it seems like we're good. So I was talking at the elite training, and even a Black Status retreat with a lot of the Black Status leaders who we all hit within the first year of the company. And in the first year of the company, it was very frustrating because we had no training, none at all, none. And we kept waiting because they kept saying it's coming, it's coming. We were waiting, and they were like, well, we can't wait anymore. We had to just start creating our own. So what that did, if you are given a lot of responsibility where you have to step it up if you want to grow your business, then you step it up. You're more likely to step it up. If corporate would have already had training, if we hadn't gone into hypergrowth and corporate had no time to work on training because they had to work on keeping up with demand of products, right? If they would have already had training, I wonder if our businesses would be where they're at, because they had every intention of having detailed training. But as the years have gone on, they've realized nobody knows this business like we do, like us girls in the trenches that are working it every day. Corporate learns from us. So they realized, you know what? Yes, we need some corporate training, but there's really nothing they can tell us about our business. The training, and what makes this company so unique, is that the training comes from the trenches. The training comes, that's a meme, hashtag that. Whoa. The training comes from the trenches. As we learn, as things shift and grow, we adjust. Someone comes up with a new idea. Someone comes up with a BB brew. Someone comes up with a fabulous 4, And then we're like, whoa, that's a great idea. Whoa, someone's, calls them beauty bashes, lash baskets. All this stuff comes from us. So at a corporate level, they've never sold. They've never done an online party. They don't know. And we see the Facebook trends before they do. So that's the wonderful thing about this business. But if you're doing all the work for your team, or if your upline is doing all of the work for you, you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not being pushed. And so I think we went from a season of we had to all just be like hustlers. Only the hustlers will survive in the beginning. We had to hustle like a boss and create what was not there. We had to educate the world on this brand that they had never heard of. And people were skeptical and they were scared and they're like, I don't know this brand. I don't know, what is this? We had to do all that on our own. But then because of that, we created all this training. And because we felt such a lack of training, we created so much training that it's kind of smothering and it's too much. So then we started getting people who wanted their hands held. And I'm one who thought, okay, I need to do more hand holding to show people how to do this. To a point, you hold a hand, but you're never going to know what somebody is made of until, it comes down to it. until they have to step up. Give them a chance to step up. It doesn't mean that you can't change things down the road. It doesn't mean you can't adjust. If they get the chance to step up, watch and see what happens. If they're actively working on personal development, trying to grow, trying to become a better leader, trying to handle these issues, I mean, think about it. If you're not letting your green handle their own team, what are they going to do when they're orange? You're enabling them. You're being a helicopter mom. And what are they going to do when they're purple? Do you know one of the biggest problems with presenters who hit black status too quickly? Their team management skills haven't caught up with their team size. Like they're having to do a crash course. There's a reason that you know, it's like there's a reason your babies are born newborns and they sleep and eat and that's it. Or don't sleep in my kid's case, right? You're a new mom. You got to figure this stuff out, and then they grow slowly. So you slowly learn, right? You're not just given a 2-year-old. Can you imagine? Oh my God, right? You're not just given a 2-year-old. There's a reason, and you got to develop your skills. And you know, and if some of you feel like you're stuck, there's some skills that you are missing. And I say that because you can always learn skills, but you need to constantly be learning. You need to constantly be reading, finding books. You know what your struggle is. If you really sat down and gave it a minute, you know what your struggle is, okay? Tina, honey, I love you. You did not have to tell me you were a hand holder. I could already tell. It's okay. It's okay. A little tough loving, a little hug, a little swat on the tush. Everything's all better. Let's see. Heather, I was told to add my new girls to like 8 different groups, which is so overwhelming. Yes, Heather, they need to be in their elite upline group, their black status upline group, and the corporate page. That's it. Let's see. Honestly, feel like people like personalized training from elite leaders more so than training in our back office. Yeah, well, because you know what? They want to hear from personal experience. They want to know that you know what they're talking about, right? That's what they want. The corporate stuff is good for an overview and then connect with them and touch base. But you see where by letting your greens have their own group, this turns you into the coach. And you're actually going to have more connection with your elite because you're going to be on the phone, you're going to be messaging, you're going to be coaching her. If she has struggles and it's something that you struggle with yourself, say, I struggle with that myself. Actually, why don't we brainstorm some ideas, because that is a challenge for me too. She's going to love the fact that you asked for her input, right? And then you step it up together. But you can be in her team page and she can be in your team page, and you just tell the teams, rest assured, we're all still involved. But as you become a leader in your team, you will understand better why we're doing this the way we're doing it. Okay? Hot mess, Tess. Oh my God, what are you doing, Tess? You crazy pants. I love your hair, by the way. Okay, so are we good? I'm going to go. I don't know where, what time is it? I'm kind of getting aggravated because my cleaners are supposed to be here. Oh, yeah, Bethany. Listen, I want every single one of you to read, even if you've read it before, read it again. How to Build Network Marketing Leaders from Big Al. It'll take all of that pressure off of your shoulders. All of that pressure is off your shoulders. Because Al explains how, you know, I mean, like me, I always felt, I never took responsibility for anybody's success, but I always took responsibility for their failures. Even though that didn't make logical sense. You can't have it both. You either get both or you get none. You're not responsible for either one. You're responsible for providing them the information. Most people are not go-getters. Look at the world. Most people are not go-getters. A lot of lazy daisies out there. But guess what? Here's the good news. You only need 4. You only need 4 go-getters. And they don't even have to be directly under you. If they're in that leg anywhere, they can be your first gen. Okay? Yes, Tess. Listen to it again on the way to town. You're so cute with your little town. I love you guys. And again, I'm happy to do these Q&As anytime. So just let me know if you want to do another one, or as you have questions, start posting it, because you're not the only ones. And so let's start doing this now. Okay? Let's start doing this now. And like I said, everybody's gonna have questions, and you're gonna have people that might not be happy, and da 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 da. And if they're not happy, I want you to dig in. I want you to dig in and find out, what is it about this that bothers you? Are you afraid you're not gonna get the training? Are you afraid that, blah, blah, blah? Because I'm here to reassure you that you're gonna get all the training. Oh, cleaners are here. All right, listen, I gotta go let them in. I love you guys, and so, yeah, keep posting questions. Okay, bye.